Let's review another clinical case that I planned and printed in my laboratory for my clients. Let's look at the initial situation, at the position of the teeth. As we can see, the lower jaw is positioned backward, and we observe cusp-to-cusp occlusal contacts on the posterior teeth on the right side, slight crowding in both arches. So here's how we planned distalization. We followed our standard 50-50 protocol. That means first we move the second molars about 50% of the planned distance. At the next stage, we finish the remaining 50% and at the same time start moving the first molars by 50% and continue like this step by step. At the same time, we can also work with the anterior teeth because we already have anchorage. We move them vestibulally, and later, when they are aligned, we can tighten them after this initial protrusion. We are moving the teeth in parallel. To create more space, we add molar rotation, and to create anchorage, we plan the use of elastics to the buttons pressed out of the aligner. Here I showed it as a cutout, but in fact there is a pressed button and the patient attaches an elastic to it. Then when we approach the canine, we attach a metal button to it and continue wearing class 2 elastic from the lower first molar to the canine. And of course, we do this on both the right and the left sides. On the left side, we also did a slight distalization. And most importantly, to correct the class, we cannot do such a large distalization. Distalization of more than 2.5 millimeters, even more than 2 millimeters with aligners, is somewhat utopian. So after we performed the expansion, in fact, the teeth became slightly disoccluded. Next, we also create a sagittal gap in the setup and expect that when the patient wears elastics, the lower jaw will be shifted forward. And that's exactly what happened. Here are the shots from the final stages. We can see that in the setup the contacts were planned to remain in class 2, but in reality they got much closer to class 1. This was achieved because we created the sagittal space and the conditions for the mandibular shift. Everything worked well, the same on the left side, the class also improved. The occlusal contacts look excellent and nice, and the teeth are aligned, both upper and lower. So what was done in the lower arch? We performed a small round tripping and expansion. That means the posterior teeth moved buccally and the anterior teeth moved vestibularly. Then we press them lingually. The patient wears elastics from the first to the last aligner to create anchorage. Without anchorage, we cannot distalize more than one tooth at a time. Therefore, wearing elastics is mandatory. This virtual plan was uploaded to the cloud using my service Viewer. It is a 3D viewer where you can upload your setups, customize the design to match your clinic's brand, adjust your backgrounds, colors, logo, domain name, and showcase your treatment plan as I do. The service works both on mobile devices and desktop. I highly recommend you to try it. The free version includes uploading and storing 3 cases, so you can try out the viewer's interface and functionality without any payment. Thank you for your attention.